Let's talk about discussion ideas for the young adult novel Cinder, Book One of the Lunar Chronicles. One of the Lunar Chronicles is kind of a sci-fi cyborg twist on the classic fairy tale Cinderella. You're going to meet Cinder, who lives as a cyborg in the city of New Beijing. Of course, she's going to have an interaction with the prince. And be called to an adventure beyond what she imagined is going on her planet. This book is a ton of fun, and one of the first things that you can discuss with your teen is the connection to the book Cinderella. The author makes it very clear that the four books in the Lunar Chronicles, which you can see on the back, Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, and Winter, each loosely follow some of the characters and themes of the fairy tales Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and Snow White. I read all four at this point and I absolutely enjoyed them all. My personal favorite is Cress, but a lot of people also really enjoyed Scarlet. But back to Cinder, which kicks it all off. One of the fun things to discuss is ways that your child sees the parallels to the Cinderella story. From the obvious ones, like the prince and the evil stepmother, to the more subtle ones, like instead of taking a pumpkin carriage, how is it she gets to the ball? Do they see a representation for the glass slipper? Lots of different things that they'll see in this book. One of the second things you might discuss is the mentor. While I was discussing this with my teen book club, we were actually looking at this book through the lens of the hero's journey. And the mentor is an important part of that journey. But even if you aren't using the lens of the hero's journey, you could still discuss how Dr. Erland acts as a mentor to the main character, Cinder. What makes him a good mentor? What knowledge does he have, and the skills and the wisdom? And what makes him slightly questionable? There are some things you're going to discover about him that make some of his behavior and choices questionable, and you can certainly talk about that as well. And then there are some really great characters to talk about in this book. One of the teens' favorites was Aiko. Aiko is a little cyborg friend, or a robot friend for Cinder, and she is delightful. So you could talk to the kids about the role that Aiko plays for Cinder in this book and with the plot. And then, of course, you could talk about the two villains. What is really interesting about Cinder, if you're looking at it through the lens of the hero's journey, is that there's a villain for her in the ordinary world, the evil stepmom, and in this adventure she has been called to, Queen Lavana. Talk about each of those villains and what makes them evil, what makes them a good villain, what do the kids predict coming in future books. Obviously, another great discussion point, because this one will end leaving you wanting more. I'm Mary Wilson. I teach online book clubs for kids ages 8 to 10, 11 to 13, and then 13 to 15 for the teen club. You can find more information linked below. Happy discussing and happy reading with your kids.